more time, I'd like to introduce the CEO of Good Monday, Joseph Tan.
It was in April 2016, I went to London to visit my brother and sister-in-law for a holiday. But my holiday was interrupted because somehow the CEO of the London Ambulance Service got to know I was in town. So she said, Joseph, can you come and give us a management briefing? Then I said, okay lah. Can do it for free, okay lah. So it's not so much about the briefing that I'd like to highlight to you, but the paramedic manager brought us around for a tour, and he told me, Joseph, do you know that the London Ambulance Service is the world's largest government-run ambulance service? It serves over 8 million residents, and they do it for, Malaysia love this word, they do it for free. So a lot of people like to take advantage of the London Ambulance Service. So the manager there asked me a very interesting question, of which I will pose to you this morning. He said, Joseph, we got the data and the stats to back it up. Which day of the week do you think people like to take advantage of the London Ambulance Service? Which day of the week we receive the highest number of calls? What do you think? What do you think? Which day of the week do you think we receive the highest number of calls? Monday? Any other answer? Friday. So we have Monday and Friday. Not first Thursday of the month. Okay, Monday, Friday, Sunday. Okay, why Sunday, Timmy? Okay, people. Okay, they're idols. So, alright, they're too free, they're idols. So, might as well get some action. Get some free Airbnb, right? Okay, that's Sunday. Who said Friday? The gentleman there said Friday. Why Friday, sir? Weekend, right? People like to just kind of let their hair down, and when the hair comes down, everything also comes down, and they might have a meltdown or breakdown, and they need a London Ambulance Service. Someone said Monday. Why Monday? Okay.
Get some rest.
Okay. Need some self-declared rest. Well, here's the official answer. Drum roll. Okay, the official answer is Monday. Monday is the official answer. Now the follow-up question is equally interesting, and this one you might want to consult with the person sitting next to you. What time on Monday? What? Morning, 8, 7, 9, 8, 9. Okay. Depending what time you get out of bed. Well, the official answer is 10 a.m. 10 a.m. He didn't tell me why. It's 10 a.m. It's 10 a.m. I remember speaking to an employee. He said that, Joseph, one day I was taking my motorbike to work, and the nearer I got to the office, suddenly I remembered the face of someone I don't like. And the nearer I got to the office, my feelings became so intense, and I don't know what came over me. I suddenly took a right swerve and I went to the clinic to get MC. HR managers also tell me that most of the requests for medical leave come in on Monday. Yeah. We can say all we want about our strategy, about our great plans, but when the rubber meets the road, do your people feel like coming to work? What's the Malay word for employee? What's the Malay word for employee? Pekerja, okay. Other than pekerja? Kuli. Other than kuli, pekerja, kuli. Give me another word for employee. Kaki tangan, very good. Kaki tangan, alright? For those of you who may not know Malay, kaki means what? Okay, the leg. Tangan means hands, so it's feet and hands, okay, or hand and legs. Now here lies in the motivational problem. And I'm going to start off in Malay first, then I'll translate into English. Here is how it sounds like in Malay. Bila mereka datang ke kerja, hanya kaki tangan saja yang menjelma. Hanya kaki tangan saja yang datang ke kerja, tetapi hati dan minda di tempat lain. Translated into English, when people show up for work, only the hands and feet show up. The heart and the mind is somewhere else. Boss, I don't feel like coming to work. Turn to your neighbor and say, where is your heart and mind right now? Okay. Oh, right here, right now. So, by about 12, you will all walk away with 4 big ideas on how do we create the alignment between the hands and feet and the heart and mind. We are all very apt in creating alignment in the hands and feet. We come up with great plans and we come up with great expectations. Next year we want a 20% rise in sales, but we forget the heart and mind question. The heart and mind question is, where is the energy level of our people? You want sales to go up 20%, is the energy up by 20%? If the energy don't catch up with the expectations, do you know what you have? You have an energy crisis. And that shows up itself with people wanting to go on leave at Monday at 10 a.m. because their hands and feet say they should go to work, but their heart and mind go and call 1-800 London ambulance service. I'd like to share with you, before we go to the 4 big ideas, I'd like to share with you the 4 myths of alignment. The 4 common myths of alignment. Myth number 1, everyone should know what to do. Right? They are all grown-ups. We just have a great town hall meeting, share with them the plans. After that, we say, pergi main jauh-jauh. In English, it means go play far, far away. Go get the job done. That's it. Joseph, organization culture is a simple matter. Just tell people what to do. They should know what to do, right or wrong. There is another spot we visited while we were in London. It's called the Bletchley Park. Anyone been to Bletchley Park? About 3 hours out from London. You know, Bletchley Park was a top secret military location during World War II because that was the place where they deciphered the secret codes from the Nazis. Even a movie was made out of this called Enigma. And this group of ladies here have the heavy responsibility of deciphering the Morse code. And they have one of the most boring jobs in the world. All day long, they just sit down there. Decipher lah. That was the algorithm. Okay. You get the picture lah. Huh? They have one of the most routine and boring job in the world. But if you see some of the video archives, they are one of the most engaged workforce you have ever seen. Their heart and mind comes to work together with their hands and feet. My question to you is why? Why? Why do you think when faced with one of the most routine jobs in the world, their heart and mind shows up and they are aligned all the time? Certainly their job description didn't excite them, but something else did. What? What, sorry? Save the country, ini kali lah. Okay, save the country, alright? Save the country, okay? That motivated them. What else? What else? Purpose. What purpose did they have?
I guess it's the importance of deciphering so that they know what the message is.
Yeah. Okay.
With
With the purpose, saving the country. What else?
Knowing how important their job is.
They knew how important their job is. So here is big idea number 1. Everybody take a deep breath, please. It's a very profound statement. Take a deep breath, please. Here's a profound statement. The why fires up the what. Big idea number 1. In order to create alignment in your company, you as a leader must constantly state the why. If you do not state the why, and you always focus on the what, guess what? Your employees will eventually ask the why. But when the employees eventually ask the why, it comes off in a very different tone. Why, boss? Why you ask me to do extra? Why like that one? Why so late? Why now only give me? Why is this my job? Why is this not someone else's job? Why so difficult? Why no overtime? Why you like that one, boss? Why I cannot go for holiday? If you do not state the why will eventually be asked later on, and it will be in a very different tone. But if you as a leader, before you talk about the what, you constantly tell why we exist. You do storytelling. You say ini kalila. You say this is what we stand for. Let me tell you not just what we sell, but what we stand for. Let me remind you why we started the company. Let me remind you the difference that we are making in the lives of our clients. You keep telling the why, the why, the why, the why, and if the why becomes so clear, your employees will say, boss, what must I do? What must I do? Sometimes managers come to me, Joseph, my kaki tangan, my employees always ask why. Always ask why. Why? Tell me why. You know, then my answer is this. Do you know why your employees say why? Because you never say it. Because your why is not clear. So one of the skills you need to have to create alignment within your company, and it's a very simple skill. You want to scale that mountain, all of you as leaders, you must know how to do storytelling. Why is it that ads like Petronas touch your hearts? How come Petronas never have an advertisement that tell you the technical specifications of their lubricants? And they tell you the organic molecule structure. Why? Because that one don't touch your heart and your mind. That's why when CEOs ask me, Joseph, how can I motivate my people? I say next time when you have town hall meeting, don't begin with numbers, begin with a story. Every time begin with a story. So I'm consulting with a few organizations, a number of SMEs who's trying to change their culture, and Kennedy is with me. Every time we have a meeting, I always get them to begin with a story. Because you need to fire up your people with the why. Tom Shoes. Anyone wearing their products? Yeah. Tom Shoes sells what? Sells shoes lah. They sell shoes. Okay? But you ask the employee why you come to work. Why you wake up at Monday at 10 a.m. Why? They will tell you, hey Joseph, here is not what we sell, but why we do what we do. Anybody knows why is Tom Shoes different? Anyone of you that bought their products? Okay, they got an outlet in one utama. Here's the why. Every pair of shoes that you buy, they donate another pair to someone else in a developing country. Is that a strong why? Does it touch your heart and mind? Does it make you feel the world is at my feet, literally in that sense, right? So not only that, they have expanded into eyewear as well. Every purchase of eyewear, they also donate. If you buy a school bag, they donate into a school bullying program. Isn't that a great why? Doesn't that fire up? Instead of a CEO of Tom saying, today town hall meeting we sell shoes lah. Yesterday the shoe 10% sales up. Not so good lah. I want you to sell 50%. Everybody raise up your hands and say we sell shoe. You know what the employees will say? Shoe off. I mean, you don't know why boss? Why are we selling shoes? Why are we selling it at that price, right? This was a picture I took of a lunch pack that I had in one of my training sessions. And this was one of the most thoughtful and meaningful lunches I had because it's prepared by Sarah. There was a story behind the meal. It was a company that not only sell lunch packs, but it's lunch packs prepared by refugees living in Malaysia. Wow! Talk about a strong why to fire up the what. That creates an alignment between the hands and feet and heart and mind, particularly in today's younger generation who come to work not only just to cari makan, because they have makan a lot already. They come to work to cari meaning, purpose, alignment. I would like you to have a conversation because the way that this is going to work is I need you to talk. I need you to talk to each other. So can you just turn to the person sitting next to you? Timmy, if you don't mind, you just go join another group or what. I would like you to tell each other, what do you think is the why of your company? Try and convince the other person why your company is so great. Okay, ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Turn to your neighbor and say, this is the why of my company. This is what my company stands for. What's so great about your company? Don't just tell the product. I want the story behind your company.
My CEO never explained to us. Right? The answer is to be money. Yeah, because one of our
Okay, give you another 30 seconds. Yeah, 30 seconds.
That's what they say in the vision.
Okay, alright, please wrap up your final sentence. Move on.
Because we don't supply directly to the people, but how the technology is used.
Thank you very much. I hope that when you describe the why of your company, it provokes a certain sense of pride. It promotes a certain sense of belonging. If I were to go into your company and ask each employee, not what you do, but why do you work here, and each one of them give me the same answer, do you know how powerful that is? Do you know how powerful that is? If everyone give me the same answer, let me tell you, you don't have a bunch of employees, you have a group of soldiers. The reason why we don't have a group of soldiers is that everyone have their own why. And they come to work fighting their own private battles. And sometimes the battle is even against one another. And that to me is a very sorry sight of misalignment. Alignment myth. So the big idea number one is the why fires up the what. Alignment myth number two. We tend to think that, hey, in order to get our act together, we as leaders, as the SME company grows, we must focus on our weaknesses. We must focus on our employees' weaknesses. We must constantly harp on what they don't have and what they don't do well. And when we continue to focus on their weakness, surely they will improve if we focus on their weaknesses. True or not? In some respect, yes. In some respect, yes. But I would like to take it at a deeper level. How many of you here got children? Can I see your hands? You got children? Okay, do you still wish your children? Yes, yes, you're happy with that? Okay, good, good, I'm sure all of you are. Now imagine if your son come home one day and his report card shows his results. He's got B+ for history, A for English, C- for maths, B- for geography, and you only have 500 ringgit to spend each month on his tuition. Where would most of your tuition investment go into? Which subject? Maths lah. 77% of parents would say, okay Joseph, most of my 500 ringgit is going towards maths tuition. And the reason is obvious, right? Because math is the weakness, right? Nothing wrong with giving some emphasis on maths, but if maths is the only thing you are focusing on your son, and you forget every other thing, you are focusing on his weakness at what expense? At the expense of his strengths. Now, where is his strength? Have you asked the question not what he do poorly in, but what does he excel in? So what does he excel in? English, the A. You know, the coach of Usain Bolt once at a press conference, he said that, you know, Usain Bolt, though he's the world's fastest runner, he also got weakness. Let me share with you what is his weakness. Do you know Usain Bolt's weakness? Anyone? Although he's a 3-time gold. Yeah, that's right. Thank you very much, sir. He's a slow starter. If you watch the slow-mo, he starts off just slower than most people, even slower than Kennedy, I think. Right? You look quite fast, man. So he starts off slower than most people, you know, and but the coach went on to say, but I know his strengths. What is his strength? His sprint, his acceleration, his last 50-meter acceleration is fantastic. And the coach posed this hypothetical question: what if I just focus on his weakness? What if every day I tell Usain Bolt, starting line, starting block, every day, no exception, don't question me, I'm your coach. Every day, starting block, starting block. Do you think that Usain Bolt will be a great runner? He'll be a good runner, but he might not be a great runner. But you know what the coach said? But I know his strengths. And you know what is his strategy? 80% on strengths, 20% on weaknesses. I remember one CEO in my class. He saw this and he said, Joseph, you mean I must focus on people's strengths? And his eyes suddenly opened a little bit bigger, and he looked at the HR director sitting next to him and say that, hey, I think we need to change. Because he liked to send people for training in areas that they don't like. You don't like numbers? More numbers training. You don't like sales? More sales training. Wow. No wonder they are good employees, but they are not great employees. Let me demonstrate it to you. Can everyone take your pen, pencil? Does everyone have a pen or pencil? If you don't have, put up your hand and Zach will just sprint right to you because he's a fast starter there. Okay, alright. If you don't have a pen or pencil, please raise your hand and then we'll get one over to you. Thank you very much. We're just going to do a simple exercise here to show why it creates alignment if we focus strengths and not weaknesses. Alright? Now this is very simple. I would like you to, at the word go, this is kind of like a sprint. Please don't start yet. We're all going to start together at the same time. Okay, all start together at the same time. And Kennedy, do we still have prizes? Oh, still have? Okay, then let's make it a competition. Let's make it a competition, okay? Now, please don't start yet. I would like you to write down this word, I am talented, in full. I am talented 3 times. So I need to see 3 rows. Don't put I'm talented times 3. Okay, so I am talented 3 times in a legible way. Kennedy will be the judge, okay, Kennedy? So the first one to finish, put up your hand, and then Kennedy will come over and kind of verify whether is your writing legible. So we want speed and accuracy, and the first one to put up your hand will win, okay? No, you don't start yet, you don't start yet. All these KS people, ready? Okay, alright, okay. Alright, Kennedy, these are the prizes, Okay, alright, ready? On your marks, get set, go! That gentleman behind there, and if that gentleman failed, then we have the lady there as a backup in case it's Chaka Ayam. Can. Alright, let's give a hand to Mr. Amir. Let's give a hand to Mr. Amir. Now we need to verify whether if it's a fluke shot or if it's something that can be repeated. So we're going to do the competition and the test one more time. So the rest of you still have a chance. Okay, we're going to do it another time. Are you ready? On your marks. Don't start. Change hand. Use the other hand. If you use left hand right now, use right hand. If you use right hand right now, use left hand. Okay, use the other hand. Use the other hand. Your KPI is still the same. I am talented 3 times. Change hand ready, huh? Okay, on your marks, get set, go. On 3 times, 3 times, huh? Okay, Kennedy, keep the hand out. See who's the talented one now. Is this still Amir or not? Lady here. Okay, if she doesn't get it, then this one gets it. Okay, very fun. Is it okay? Is it okay? It's acceptable. All right. Okay, good. All right, good. And your name is Lina. Okay, thank you very much, Lina. Let's give Lina a hand. Thank you very much. Thank you for participating. Can you compare your work of art with the person sitting next to you? Now let's process this a little bit. When you were using your natural hand, how did you feel? Confident, fast. What did you feel? Natural. Comfortable. Sorry? Comfortable, good. Normal. You are in control. You are within your zone. Hey Joe, give me another one. This is easy peasy, right? So you gotta do it autopilot and you don't think much about it because you're naturally wired for it. How was your experience like when you were using the other hand? Awkward, difficult, too much effort. You can do it, but you just need to put in a little bit more effort. How else did you feel when you're using the other hand? Struggling? You need to be very focused, yeah? You need to be very focused. You need to put extra attention to it. How else did you feel?
Tired.
You didn't like it? Tired? You could get the job done though, but it was kind of tiring. Now, if you notice, in both situations, did the KPI change? No. The what didn't change, right? But the how did. In addition to the why, what, we also need to ask how do our employees best perform. Now, I'm not saying that you can get to focus in your area of strengths 100% of the time, but at least the work should provide an environment for our employees to spend 60 to 70% of their time in their area of strengths. Gallup tells us that if the employee have the opportunity to do what they do best every day, they are 6 times more engaged. The energy level of your employee has just been turbocharged 6 times. Did you have to buy a new office building to make that happen? No. Did you have to get new software to make that happen? No. Did you have to give them a BMW company car to make that happen, although that would help? No. All you did was you took a look at their job description and asked them the question, how can I create an opportunity for what you do best every day? How can I make the job more meaningful for you? Tell me what you are good at. Show me your natural hand. Do you have opportunities to use your natural hand, or is it most of the time you are using the other awkward hand? Though you can get the job done, but it is more tiring. It is more of a struggle. It is more of a focus. No wonder we have employees who says, boss, I don't feel like coming to work. It's not that fixing your weakness won't bring any improvement. It will. But with the limited time and resource that we have, it is not about returns, it is about maximized returns. With the 8, 9, 10 hours that they have in the office, your concern is, how can I get the maximized return on my investment in my employees? And one of the returns that most employees and SMEs and growing companies neglect is the building up on strengths. You cannot treat your employee like a product. Let's find out what is wrong and then fix it. That's not how motivation works. Motivation works by saying, can I find out what you are good at and let's make the good better. So here's big idea number 2. Big idea number 1 is that the why fires up the what. That will create alignment. A second way to create alignment is that focus on strengths while managing weakness. I'm not saying we should forget about the weaknesses, but weaknesses need to be managed. Either you find someone who complements you, you bring in a system and a process that can take care of areas that you're not so wired for. In whatever ways, your focus must be on your strengths. What worked for Usain Bolt will also work for you if you want to climb that mountain, and to do it in a way that is motivating and in a way that energizes you. Here's your second conversation. How does your company develop talented employees? When you have talented employees in your company, how do you train them? Do you actually look at their strengths? What sort of program and what sort of strategy do you have in developing talented employees? How is the situation now? Let's just take a clarity of reality as what Roshan mentioned. How are things now? How do we actually develop talented people? Do we really focus on strengths? Do we look at their weaknesses? Or how do we do it? Okay, turn to your neighbor and say, this is currently what's happening. Go. How is it happening? Okay, if all of you are from the same company, can talk about how you see it within your company. Alright, let's take another 30 seconds.
But what is considered balance for stay strong,
Okay, let's take another 15 seconds to wrap up your conversation. So please wrap up your final sentence. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for the conversation. So, big idea number 1, the why fires up the what. So we as leaders who want to create alignment in our culture, we must be good in storytelling. Number 2, focus on strengths while managing weaknesses. That needs to be your philosophy of people development if you want to retain talented people. And retaining talented people is an issue, especially if you're in a dynamic industry. And people want to come to a place where they feel like coming. Myth number 3. There are growing companies and SMEs who think that well, alignment happens when we have excellent external relationships. So there's a lot of focus on growth, which is normal, There's a lot of talk about networking and partnership, which is good. But if that's your only strategy for alignment, then it is somewhat incomplete. It is somewhat superficial. Because in order to create that extra 20% energy level, in order to create that extra 20% energy to meet rising expectation, you cannot just focus on external relationships. You need to have a focus on internal relationships as well. A lot of company leaders, they have focused a lot of effort on competitive intelligence, trying to find out what is the competitor doing, how we can best position our product, how we can sell more, how we can treat customers better, but they do not do the equal research on how we can treat our employees better. What is the trend in employee engagement? What is the trend in the motivation and the way our employees feel, especially the talented ones? You could be so sensitive to what the market wants, but you are so insensitive to what your employees want. And if you are so sensitive to what the market wants and you constantly come up with products and services for the external market, but you lose track of the feelings, the engagement, and how your people are feeling at the ground level, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if they show up at work only with their hands and their feet, and then you scratch your head and say, why are they not giving me the extraordinary effort that I'm looking for them, from them? That is because we have not done the extra work in investing in internal relationships. You really need both. That's why I'm actually in the process of consulting with a few SME business owners, and as they talk about their growth, inevitably they boast of the number of subsidiaries they have. They boast about the number of CEOs they have. In fact, I was just in conversation with one of them yesterday. He boasts of the strategy he has for each of the companies. Then I asked him this question: do you have a person to look into strategic HR and organizational development? He said, my HR do payroll lor. My HR handle leave lor. My HR handle the paperwork. No, I'm talking about people development and organizational development. How do you win the hearts of? I must win the heart one. That's why sometimes we grow the business and all of us say, answer this question for me please. What is the most important asset in your company? People, right? People. Now, if people is the most important asset to your company, shouldn't you have an asset manager? Imagine you buy 10 different buildings and you say, wow, these 10 buildings are my most important asset, but you never go in and clean it. You never take care of it. You never maintain it. You are not putting your money where your mouth is. So, growing SMEs, think about having a more strategic emphasis on internal development. A lot of companies got internal audit, but no internal development. You like to check people, but you never develop. Whenever you show up, is to check on them. Now, not to say audit is not important, but that doesn't create alignment. That creates attrition. Alright, so what? Just, you see, the landscape have changed, you know. During your time, during my time 20, 30 years ago, when people come, they look for paycheck. Now they come to work, they look for what? What purpose? Last time during my time when I worked, where got such thing as purpose one? When you go to work, your boss scold you, you also smile. And then your boss scold you some more, you tahan. You do climb a mountain. The mountain's name is called Gunung Tahan. Tahan means you be patient. So what happens is when your boss scold you, you take it as it comes, you go back to your office cubicle, and all you do is take a look at your family photo and say, darling, I got 5 mouths to feed at home, including yours. No problem. I will still come to work tomorrow. although it's Monday, because I'm doing it for you. Very hard to find good jobs nowadays. Do you think that sense of motivation, command and control, and threaten people, do you think it will work today? No, it won't work today. Why is it that a lot of companies today like to win the Employer of the Choice Award? Wow, they want this trophy, that trophy, like Oscar, like that, best brand, best employee of the year. All of this didn't happen 30, 40 years ago. Why is it that every company wants to be Employer of the Year? Why? Competition, good. What else? Why? Motivation, motivate their employees. What else? Why? Why are they so crazy about the award? Yeah, appreciate the employees. Attract the most talented people. Do recognition. Do you know why they want to be the employer of choice? Why they want the employer of choice award? Here's the simple answer. Everyone take a deep breath, please. Here's the answer. Employee today got a lot of choices. Think about it. If your employee got no choice, Hokkien we call bo pian. Bo pian means tiada pilihan. No choice. Aiyo, I gotta come to work, no choice. He's paying my salary. I can't find any job anywhere. I only got SPM only. I got no choice. Aiyo, if all of your employees got no choice, no need to spend money on Leaderonomics to help you get the Employer of the Year award. But the situation today is different now. A lot of companies, a lot of employees have choices, LinkedIn here, LinkedIn there, and all those stuff. I tell you, the landscape have changed, Now they don't only look at the boss. The boss must also be a coach. Not easy, that's why I have a lot of coaching assignments. I coach bosses on how to be a coach. Because right now, as a boss, you no longer can use the 4 magic words that worked 30 years ago. Do you know what's the 4 magic words that always worked 30 years ago? Do it or else. Do it or else. This one sure worked 30 years ago. Now you keep using it, do it or else. Do it or else.
1 hour got
Else what?
if they don't say anything.
I tell you now it's so different, being a manager. Being a manager today is not just a manager, you need to be a psychologist, you need to be a coach, sometimes you need to be a father, sometimes you need to be a mother. I tell you, the landscape have changed. Okay? So they want you to focus on their strengths. They don't take at their job as a job, but they look at their job as their life. And they want their life to be meaningful. They want their office to look like common ground. That kind of thing. I tell you, things have changed, You all notice or not? Don't just focus on external market. Focus on your internal market. Once in a while, have they tarik with them? Find out what's thinking, what's making them think. So here's big idea number 3. Big idea number 1 is that the why fires up the what. Big idea number 2, focus on strengths while managing weaknesses. Big idea number 3 is this: sustainable alignment begins with internal engagement. If you don't have internal engagement, if you keep sharing great external plans one after another, it is before long your employees will burn out. Instead of being fired up, they become burnt up. And that is not a healthy state of affairs to be in. You have got to put some balance and check as an SME on your appetite for growth. Every SME talks about growing. But as you plan for external growth, make sure the internal growth of your people catches up. And I was talking to this CEO yesterday. Then I asked him, this one who don't have a HR or strategic focus, I asked him, so how do you, and he has a lot of great projects. And I said, how do you catch up with your projects? I hire and fire. I hire and fire. I hire and fire. I hire and fire. But if you hire and fire all of the time, do you think you can get loyalty? Do you think you can get commitment? No. Short-term loyalty, short-term commitment. And your culture is very transactional. It's no longer transformational. You know, Gallup tells us, on the average, only 13% of employees worldwide are engaged. You know, when you have that town hall meeting and you announce your great plan and your great expectations for 2019, only 13% will raise their hand and say, "Boss, I'm with you. Kaki, tangan, hati, minda, semua masuk dalam. I'm with you. Hands and feet, heart and mind." But only 13%, you know. Only 13%, if you don't do anything about it, do you think you can rely on the 13%? That's why busy people become even more busy. Do you realize whenever you want things to be done, you always go back to the same 13%? And the rest of them take the credit for it? This is not the right state of affairs that we're in. 63% are disengaged. 63%, not to say they are evil people, but they come to work just to work. What shows up, the 63%? Only this shows up when they come to work. And every time you ask them to do more, they will refer to their favorite document in the whole wide world. It's called job description. Hey boss, you want me to do more? Hey, not inside the job description eh? Want me to do more, you know what to do lah. That leaves the 24%. The 24% are the actively disengaged. These are the people who are not only not happy, but they want other people to know it as well. Sometimes people ask me, "Hey Joseph, how can you spot out the actively disengaged?" Very easy. Look at their lunchtime behavior. Those who are actively disengaged, whenever they walk, got a small group of people follow them. During lunchtime, they have their own mini seminar. And the gang leader would say, "Listen to me lah. You know, during the meeting, the boss said like that, but let me tell you, after 20 years, this is how it works. Follow what I say." Actively disengaged. 24%, you know. Now, which are, very obviously, this is the group of people you can rely on, right? To create alignment. But if you take a look, only 13%. Take a look at this. 24%, meaning that if you don't do anything about your culture, those who are actively disengaged, they shout twice as loud. They shout twice as loud, you know, as those that are engaged. I call them the great leaders, I call them the griping leaders. This one I call a gang leader. If you don't do anything to create alignment in your company, you will have a culture. It's called a gangster culture. Inevitably, whenever clients call me in to do some work, there is already a culture there. It's called gangster culture, it's called silo mentality, it's called ketua kampung, it's called little Napoleon. That is what inevitably happened, because your why is not strong enough. You never create alignment. If you never create alignment, what happens? Does that mean alignment doesn't happen? Oh no, alignment is happening. People create their own. People create their own. So, this speaks twice as loud as this. So, you see the seriousness of creating alignment now? Conversation number 3, share about the current state of engagement. If you were to give yourself a figure in the company, what do you think your state of engagement is? Is it 30%? Is it 10%? Is it 20%? What do you think is your current state of engagement? Give you about 2 to 3 minutes, turn to your neighbor and say, "Hey, what do you think is the state of engagement in your company?" Or if you're from the same company, what do you think is the state of engagement in my company? Why? Okay, ready? Go. Find out from each other. Be a bit of a busybody. Go. What do you think? I give you 30 seconds.
But it doesn't.
Okay, let's take about 10 seconds to wrap up your final conversation. Okay, great. Good. Thanks. So big idea number one is that the why fires up the what. Big idea number two, focus on strengths while managing weaknesses. Big idea number three, sustainable alignment. How does it sound already? Sustainable alignment begins with internal engagement. Okay, so it's internal engagement. Don't just think about internal audit, think about internal engagement as well. The final big idea number 4. So before we go to big idea number 4, let me share with you the myth that is in number 4. This will bring you down the wrong track if you want to climb and if you want to grow. Here's how it sounds like. In order for me to climb that mountain and to grow, I increase alignment by hiring people with the right skills. In order for me to grow the company, to climb that tall mountain, we need to have people with the right skills. True or not? Of course true. But that's only one side of the coin. If we are just hiring for skills, people can get the job done, but we need to ask ourselves, how will they get the job done? How about their attitude and their behavior? I ask you this question, what is the greatest asset in your company? And the answer is people. Who gives you the biggest headache in the company? It is people. How can your asset and liability be the same answer? Come on. Your biggest headache should be machines, right? Should be software, right? But very interestingly, your greatest asset is also your greatest liability. Very interesting. That's why your hiring process needs to be very robust. Because if your hiring process is not robust, the person sitting in front of you is either an asset or a liability. Either one of the two. Why is this important? Have any one of you attended a training program that goes with this title, How to be an Angry Person in Just One Day? How to effectively gossip in 3 hours? How to be a lazy employee in just one weekend? How to effectively talk behind your bosses in just half a day? How to quarrel and come up with excuses for not coming to work? Have any one of you attended such training program? No. Actually, the test of an effective training program is change behavior, The behavior reflects the training. Do you see behaviors of gossiping? Do you see behaviors of anger and conflict? Do you see behaviors of laziness? Do you see behaviors of people giving excuses and playing the blame game? There are so much of these behaviors and they don't need to go for training for these behaviors. Why is that so? Why? How come they don't need to receive such training, but they can do it so fluently? Why? Instinctively. It's unnecessary, but they still do it, right? They still do it. Can I see the hands of proud parents again? Can I see the hands? Proud parents. How many of you have got to sit your daughter down and say, girl, you're such an angel? You have been... Kennedy just had a baby girl, so can Kennedy remember this story? Girl, you're just such an angel. Since the day you were born, you have done no wrong. I want to teach you that in the real world, people do fight. Can I teach you how to lie? Can I teach you how to lie? Step 1. Step 2. Can I teach you how to fight with your brother? You are not fighting with your brother at all. You're such an angel. And And you always share your toys. No, 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 you shouldn't share your toys all the time. You should learn to protect what you have. And then you go to step 1, step 2, step 3. Does any one of you need to teach your children how to do that? Go for any courses? No, but it happens, right? It comes so naturally. That is human nature. Now, you as a leader in your company, you have a tough challenge to climb. You have a tough challenge to climb. You know why? You are going against what comes naturally for your employees. If it is unnatural to be angry, then you don't need to send them for any anger management classes because their natural state is angelic. But we don't get angels, we get fallen ones. You know? So your challenge is to fight with what is natural. With what is natural, and this comes naturally. That's why we need constant reminders. That's why you need to constantly tell stories. That's why you need to constantly inspire people to remind them who they are supposed to be. Without this constant reminder, people fall into the default mode. Now, this article is a bit dated in 2007. The Terengganu state government noticed certain behavior that they don't like. Okay? They see that there are a lot of employees who like to chit-chat and loiter during office hours. Oh, this type of behavior cannot. This is the type of behavior we cannot have. So they say in order to change the behavior, in order to get them to rise up, to be who they should be, and bring our department to a level of greatness and to climb the mountain, we must install more CCTV. Okay, question for food people. Do you think installing CCTV will change the behavior of the Terengganu state government employees? No, sure not. Why will it not change? It happened in your previous company? Okay.
Right. And immediately they said, I'm going to break the camera, I'm going to hell with it. All these
Wow, wow.
things.
So
A rebellion.
it's rebellion. In fact, coming up with more rules just
Yeah. Makes you more angry.
makes you more angry. So coming up with more rules don't change people's behavior. Instead, it makes them more angry. Like a big brother, yeah.
More rules,
Yeah.
it's feasible to
Yeah.
implement. But if you're going to operate your office like a,
Like a big brother is watching you.
Yeah.
People don't like it. So they want to change. How can you police me like that?
yeah.
How many of you have changed your driving behavior because they put up more speed cameras? Your behavior has been transformed. Sure, has been transformed for 1 kilometer. So here's the challenge, right? Here's the challenge. In order to have alignment in behavior and attitude, I hope that all of you will agree that coming up with more rules is helpful, but it's not going to change behaviors overnight. Don't you think so? I think we need something else. This is my second daughter. My second daughter is Eunice. She's quite pretty, huh? And she got that from her mom. My 15-year-old daughter, and I remember when she was 6 years old. How many of you here have daughters? Can I see hands? Daughters very cute, huh? Very cute. Especially when they're 6 years old. So I remember we were having lunch with my in-law, and while waiting for the food to come, she's all starry-eyed and everything. She pulled me into a little corner and said, Daddy, can I speak to you, please? I said, okay. So she brought me to a private corner, and she looked up at me, and with a smile on her face, said, Daddy, you're perfect. Wow, I said, Daddy, you are perfect. Then she very quickly said, except for 2 things. So do you think I want to know what those 2 things are? Of course, I'm only 2 steps away from being super dad. 2 steps away from perfection. So I said, pray, tell me, what are those 2 things? And she said, Dad, number 1, you shout at us a lot when you're angry. You shout at us a lot. Then I said, What's number 2? You also shout at mommy. What was my 6-year-old daughter trying to tell me? My 6-year-old daughter was trying to tell me, let me paraphrase it, Dad, you want me to change my behavior? You want me to change my character? Show me. Show me. Show me how it looks like. Then I will change. But there was a guy in my class, he stood up, he was a teacher, and said that, Joseph, I used to be an angry man. But now, my anger doesn't give me much of a problem anymore. They said, what happened? What training program did you attend? What book did you read? What pill did you swallow? I said, no, Joseph. It's not what I swallowed, it's what I saw. You know, consistently I see my principal, the way that she deals with angry students, angry teachers, and angry parents, and she's always so calm and so cool, and she does it so consistently. I've been seeing her long enough until to the point where I want to be like her. I feel inspired because I know how patience looks like. A lot of leaders say, I want you to do this, I want you to do this. They just say, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. But the employees don't see it. People need to see it before they can own it. Then they will do it. So you cannot have Nike's strategy when it comes to changing behavior and attitude. Just do it. Just do it. They will look at you and say, boss, you show it lah. So that's why one of the fun things I have when I consult with companies, especially SME, when we kind of set what are the behavioral standards of your company, then I say, when we set the behavioral standards, I want to go through a process. Never set a behavior standard that you yourself are not willing to demonstrate. Because sometimes you ask the bosses to set behavioral standards and they come up with a list for Superman and a list for Wonder Woman. But it is very important that you as a leader, you must show it. Because if you don't show it, people won't own it. And if they don't own it, they don't do it. So here's the big idea number 4. Big idea number 4 is this. If you want to create alignment in your company, if you want to make sure that you can climb one mountain after another mountain, you must hire for character and train for skills. Now, not to say that skills are not important, but if you keep hiring people just because you got a warm seat to fill up and you just focus on the resume and not the reputation, but when the character gets out of hand, is it going to be more of an asset or a liability? It's going to be more of a liability. As your company grows, you need to have a quick response to the market, but don't be hasty in hiring employees, especially leadership positions. Take your time. Take your time. It's easy to hire, but firing just takes up so much of your energy and your effort. It is better to get it right first time. Some people say, never mind lah, Joseph. We are in such a great need for an employee. We're in such a great need here. Hire first lah. Send them to Leaderonomics to train for character later. Let me tell you, if you hire someone based on their skills and you close one eye or even 2 eyes on their character, their parents have failed to change their character. Their primary school have failed to change their character. Their secondary school have failed to change their character. Their university professor have failed to change their character. And right now they show up in your office. You think you can change them? Are you their parents, teacher, and professor all combined into one? No! You want a ready, performing, ready, committed employee to start on day 1. Let me just end this slide with a practical note. So people ask me, Joseph, so how? How do you hire for character? Let me give you, there are many things you can do, but let me give you a practical tip. You ready for the practical tip? Purposely make their probation period very difficult. The probation period shouldn't be a honeymoon period. Sorry, alarm. He just joined. It shouldn't be a honeymoon period. Some people take the probation as a honeymoon period. During the 6 months when you're in the company, we're going to treat you very nice. We're going to show you the better side of our company, you know. We want to make you feel welcome, you know, give you cookies and curry puffs every day. And so that you just kind of sail through the 6 months, you know, then after that you sign on the paper, and then when things get tough, the real colors come out. People say character is like a tea bag. You don't know what is inside until you put it in hot water. That's why we all love to watch those reality shows like The Apprentice. Well, on first day, they're very nice to each other. How are you? I hope you win. How are you? How are you? Well, episode 3, episode 4, the claws start to come out, right? Because the task starts to become more difficult. That's why a practical tip for you, during the probation period, intentionally turn up the heat. Intentionally put them a project and test their character. See how they respond. See whether what they say during the interview matches with their actual behavior and attitude. So that at the end of the 6 months, at the end of the test, if you want to let them go, it's easier. It's easier, okay? So probation is not honeymoon. Probation is baptism of fire. Because fire purifies. Okay? Conversation number 4. This one you don't have to converse with one another because time is catching up. I'm going to ask this question to you as a group. Here's the question. If everyone in your company, if everyone in your team continue to behave in the same way as they do today, their behavior and attitude don't change, do you think you can achieve the results of tomorrow? Yes or no? No. Anybody say yes? If you say an absolute yes, I say you have a great culture. You are aligned. If you said no, then I would say you have got some work to do. You have got hard work, H-A-R-D, to do with your clients, but you have got H-E-A-R-T, hard work to do with your employees. You need both. You need character and skills. Remember, who's the greatest asset? People. Liability, also people. The character that makes the difference. Okay, in conclusion, we want to change the phrase from boss, I don't feel like coming to work, to boss, I feel motivated to come to work. Now, in order for that to happen, here are the big ideas turned into the big 4 questions for your consideration. Number 1, do you have a why that fires up your what? Number 2, do you focus on strengths and manage weaknesses? Number 3, do you emphasize on internal engagement and not just external partnerships all the time? And number 4, do you hire for character and train for skills? I hope these 4 questions would guide you along your journey to climb that higher mountain, because when you're up there, it's worth it. But there's a lot of work to do in the process. Thank you very much. Pass the time back to Kennedy.
Thank you very much, Joseph. I hope everybody had a great time. This was the last topic for the day. If you're still available tomorrow, please feel free to join us. We will have some great characters as well, talking about how to manage your data and also about cybersecurity, how to secure your data as well. So please feel free to join us tomorrow, same time, 9 o'clock to 12:30 p.m. Now it's time for mingling. It's time to ask questions. The way we did it, why we did it this way is so people can approach the speakers and talk to them directly, and so not passing the mic to you and you have to answer a question on the spot. So afterwards you can approach Joseph. Roshan is still around as well, and we would also like to get some testimonies from you guys as well, what you thought about the program and what you would like to learn more, so we can go back and cook up another program like this for you. Thank you very much, and hope to see you guys tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you.